139, 132. Quite remarkable spell of scoring. Points without reply stands at 399. The record in a ranking event, just to mark your card, is 547. We'll see, but regardless of that, phenomenal stuff. But of course, it will mean less to him if he doesn't win the match. Still needs 2 frames. Let's see if the interval has made any difference.
I suppose Ding can at least say, well, he hasn't done a great deal wrong. I don't think he's missed much, if anything, really. You're not getting any shots and doing much wrong sitting in a chair watching your opponent clear up 3 times. And what can happen is you can be playing well and you can be sitting there almost casting your mind back on what you've done when you stop for your mid-session. Whereas if you're in the moment just playing, you're not really thinking about what's gone before. But we'll see. I mean, he might carry on making all these breaks and beat all the records for continuous points unanswered. But safety battle here, Ding wouldn't mind just to get him started again. If he can get in first, then he can claw his way back into this match.
Yeah, that record 547 in a ranking event was actually set in China by Stuart Bingham in 2016. The overall record is 556. Ronnie O'Sullivan at the Masters 2014 against Ricky Walden.
Yes, I remember that match. It was something of a mauling, wasn't it? From, I think Walden, if I'm not mistaken, played a part in the first frame and then was completely, well, taken apart after that in not very long.
I think that was the year there was a power cut as well at the tournament. I think Ricky would have welcomed one at one point in that match. It was just an onslaught. It can happen. It's happening here, but this match is not over yet.
Unanswered points might end here if he leaves this red on to middle, although it has gone a little further than makes it an easy red.
Yeah, at one stage Ding held the record. I think it was 495, 494, something like that against Higgins. But anyway, right now he's just looking to pot a ball and get back involved here. Well, a rapturous round of applause for that pot.
That's the red he wanted to get on, the one that's on the black spot to free the black up. I don't know how affected that Ding will be, because, you know, I said earlier on, these two only played in 2017 in the Scottish Open. They've never really played before. It's quite unusual because it's both very prominent players in the game. How they've not played with all the matches that take place. I'm sure Ding was aware of the kind of player Wakelin is, but if he wasn't, he certainly has been, having seen him before the interval. But if he gets this frame here with this chance, we've got a real game on our hands, I think.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Ding is right up there as one of the great break builders. He's capable of doing similar. So much is about attitude, and as you say, and he didn't do a lot wrong in those 3 frames. 3-1 Si Junhui at the interval against Dwayne Jones. He's made a couple of centuries there himself, in fact, two back-to-back. So some terrific snooker being played in this arena tonight.
Just playing just around the choice of bolt colour is probably the safest option there.
16.
He's kind of just skirting around the issue of getting right in amongst them. Of course, he will at the first opportunity. He knows no differently. He's the sort of player he is. But it just gives a different dimension to a match. A player who was on the up, sitting in his chair now, watching his opponent, and that's what Wakelin is doing.
19.
But he isn't really banging yet. Pink to middle might be away. Pots the red that he's closest to and just cannons the red below it. It's just one key shot away from making this a wonderful chance. Easy on the pink. It looks as if he is again. It's quite a misleading angle, isn't it, from this camera? Because it looks mighty close, but I think he can get through. Usually all you've got, if you're the opposing player, is body language. It absolutely flies. So there you are. That is deceptive. It looked like he's buried up against that close red.
Well, this is a terrific match, and Ding now making it a match by getting in first in this frame. Just to say, Mark Joyce 3, Zhang Anda 1. That's the last one
26.
to reach the interval. Zhang's won frame 4 there.
Twenty-seven.
Kind of angle does he have on the red? He might be able to get onto the black into the same pocket, but the black, as you can see, not on its spot. Don't want to screw into the black, which is not out of the question here. Beautiful.
33.
That's a nice shot. I think it's better than it first looked, because you have to really judge it perfectly. And he might be able to play on the bottom left-hand red here, which would unlock the other red next to it.
Well, if you keep watching,
40.
eventually someone might miss a ball, but it's not happening at the moment, is it? We saw Wakelin superb, and now Ding trying to answer back in kind.
41.
You heard that first red he potted, you heard the roar from the crowd. Clearly a lot of people would love to see him get right back into the match for obvious reasons. It's turning into a terrific contest, this. Thought the match this morning, Trump and Higgins, it's quite drawn out, wasn't it? I think there was a lot of respect on either side there between the two of them. So many meetings they've had. But this is a lot more free-flowing.
48. 49. 56.
Yes, barely a ball has been missed so far. We don't want to put the curse on either player.
57.
Of course, 3 total clearances. And even that first frame didn't got to the point of snooker's required. Played a double. It went on a while after that. But there's not too many balls missed. But he'll need to put another one here to secure the frame.
62.
I'm not sure whether the 2 reds are a plant. Oh, they look bang on, don't they? Goodness. That plant is just sitting there waiting for him. He's never going to miss that one. It was banging line. So, the crowd are... I'm sure they enjoyed the Wakelin breaks because they enjoy good snooker and it was beautiful, but they are probably enjoying Ding winning this frame and putting a halt on that run from this man.
Well, I think we're just all enjoying the match full stop, and Ding Junhui coming to the party here
71.
with his trademark class around the table. Just to make a century of his own. Be 4 in a row in the match. Could even be a total clearance, but whatever it is, it's won him the frame, and he's right back in it at 3-2.
78. 79. 86.
Yes, the pink wasn't quite stopping him
87.
from playing that cannon. But he's in some difficulty now to keep the break alive. Might be playing this to the middle.
Well, 87 will do. He'd love to have made a total clearance of his own, but he needed the frame, and from one chance, he took the frame. So a wonderful match here, and Ding right back in it, trailing by just 1 at 3-2. Yeah, really good effort, bearing in mind the way he was shut out for basically 3 frames.
Potted a good red to the middle to start it, and here it just for a second I thought he'd gone behind the red and he couldn't pot the pink to middle, but he could get through to it, and he had an angle just to knock another red away from the pink spot as well, so he was underway at that point. The plant helped. That was there all along, that plant. And as you see, the brown to middle didn't quite happen. So Wakelin down to just 1 up at 3-2, but at least Ding has stemmed the flow.
Well, what a match this is turned into. Chris Wakelin from 1-0 down had 3 consecutive total clearances. Ding looked like he might make one there, but 87 will win you a frame of snooker. And 3-2 it is to Wakelin. First to 5 will take on Judd Trump in the quarterfinals here in Wuhan tomorrow. Trump, of course, defending champion. So what are we going to get next? Well, there's the order of play. They're the latest scores as frame 6 gets underway.
Well, that little nudge on the green. The green didn't appear to be in the way of the path up the table that he was taking, but he just edged past the red and hit the green. Now, this is not a straightforward ball to middle, but if this goes in, could be away here. Only just, but it's almost a repeat from the previous frame because he started with a red, something like that to right middle as well. And that's what he made a sizable break from. No, he didn't want that. That's a terrible shot by his high standards. He wanted to pass the bunch of reds and be on the red to the left of the black. He'd be absolutely horrified with that positional shot. And you could see that he looked up to the heavens. It's very easy to do that on that shot. Just you played to pass the bunch of reds, but you hit them on the way through for position.
Junhui 6.
So Chris Wakelin will be quite relieved there because he might have felt that Ding was going to just completely dominate the frame, having got in early, but nothing came of it.
Yes, I mean, there's not been much missed, but breaks can end in other ways. Obviously, losing position has happened there.
There wasn't a huge target there to aim to the reds up by the pink. Touching ball is the call, so there's not really been anything resembling that closer frame. I guess the first frame went down to the colours because Wakelin got the snooker, but the others have all been very one-sided. He's got a clear shot at reds, as you can see, but he's worried about playing off the bunch down the left side with the red on the left cushion. So easy to hit that red on the way back up the table. That red far left would be the one that you could collide into. So now he looks like he's playing the two cushion glance. This is always a tough shot. Played it really well, though, hasn't he? Played it ever so well. It's good, really good tussle between these two at the moment.
Yeah, because the standard has been so high, the safety obviously is very important. Cannot afford to offer up chances with the scoring we've seen. Big week, I think, for Ding. This, you know, this season has been quiet for him. Coming to the tournament, he hadn't earned any ranking points at all season. Previous 3 events he played in, he hadn't won a match. But that seems to be how it is with him. It's sort of feast or famine in a way. When he comes good, he's really good. That's the thing. We've seen that down the years. The one-year list is significant because of the Players' Series. So it's a 3-event series beginning with the World Grand Prix. We're not entirely sure yet when that is. It's going to be back over the season, but obviously if you can get in that one, you've got every chance of getting in the next 2 as well. And they're ranking events as well. You get points and the big money prize funds.
Yeah, I mean, that's all we can say about the World Grand Prix is it's going to have to be before the Players or the Tour Championship. That much we can confirm.
Foul. Junhui 4.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a different game at the moment to the one we saw. That unbelievable run of form for the mid-session interval. It's just been stopped for now, completely halted. It felt like wherever you put anything on the table, he was going to knock it in those 3 frames. Wakelin, he made 3 consecutive total clearances, which is something you wouldn't see very often at all at this game. Well, that is quite troublesome that you see the complete congestion on the left side of the table. Nothing on the right side of the table can he hit to get back down. I mean, if you were somebody with a huge amount of cue power here, I mean, I can't think, maybe a Judd Trump, it might try and launch into that red that's just off straight and screw back to the other end. But Ding is not, well, I'm sure he can play it. It's not really something he's known for. So he is definitely in trouble here. All these reds are in each other's way. So if you've got no safety shot, often a pot is at least giving you a chance. But even that would be a very difficult one. It's very unusual to see such congestion on one side of a table and the other one you can't get to. Table. You know, I'm not sure what he played there. If he played it, I never saw him come around to look at the angle of the plant, and of course he's on nothing. I mean, he must have played this.
Yellow ball.
Did he? Very strange. Now this may not look great, but he could get Wakelin in a whole world of trouble here. He's nominated yellow. See how this goes.
Foul.
Well, one thing I'll be amazed if Wakelin has it put back. I'll be amazed because he could end up in all kinds. He's got an awkward decision here. Now, does he go for this? Does he leave this? If he has it put back, then Ding could unleash hell, basically, by rolling up behind the yellow. So the choices are not as great as they seem.
Well, he's got three choices. None of them are any good, are they, really?
No, because you don't want to be playing it
from here.
From there, yeah. That's probably the best he could do there. You wouldn't want to give him a second try of that out of a snooker, because you might end up in all kinds.
Well, he's put the ball in Ding's court, which, as you say, is probably the best of the three options. Well, a couple of noises off didn't affect him there. Match has sort of changed a little bit in this frame. I mean, you can't expect every frame to be won in one visit. These frames are equally fascinating. There may yet be a big break, but at the moment, it's got a little bit tense as the match has got closer. There was a time when, I mean, 3 centuries in a row is a very, very impressive achievement, not least total clearances. But you almost sort of expect these things to happen these days. The first time it happened was 1988, Steve Davis in a final against Jimmy White in Stoke. Doug Mountjoy did it just afterwards in the UK final against Stephen Hendry. And we have had instances of 4 in a row. But the bottom line is he's not won the match yet, despite all that.
No, I thought straight away of the instance of Doug Mountjoy doing it in that final against Stephen Hendry. That's some stage, isn't it, to make 3 centuries in a row against such a player. I've been Preston, Guildhall. Now he's got to be a little careful on the way back down. He doesn't hit the red or the blue. Doesn't want to catch this thin red incorrectly. Well, he's missed it altogether.
And miss.
So he was aware of that as well.
First Wakelin 4.
I'm sure Wakelin will attack now. Ding has been put under pressure. Now this might not be as easy as it would have been before the mid-session interval, this red. Crazy game, isn't it? He would not have missed that earlier on.
all sorts of noise again. But just to say, by the way, Barry Hawkins has won the 5th frame, so he was 3-0 down, but it's now 3-2 to Zhao Guodong. Ding just mindful of the yellow here.
It's a big pot, this opening red here, Dave, isn't it? Because there's a lot on if he can only get to pot it and get onto his colour.
Peggy Lee lurking. He's not quite as close, I think, as he thought he was.
No, but I think he kind of almost had to arch his back, didn't he, to avoid being in line with the yellow and brown. Made an unusual shape, I think, that across the table.
Well, it certainly added to the difficulty of the shot, which he didn't get too close to, so it's become rather cagey now, rather tense.
One.
That's a good shot now. Wakelin's got a chance to regroup. No one's saying he's going to make another century here, but he'd settle for about 50 at the moment. That would put him on track.
Eight. Nine. Sixteen. Seventeen.
Looks like he's got a slight angle on the blue. He can certainly head down towards the reds from it. He won't be rushed. He knows how important a visit to the table this is.
22.
Yes, he was right behind that plant, and the reds were not that close together, but it was not a difficult one all the same. Just scratching around a little bit to get back his complete position. You know, he's a long way away from getting the frame one at this visit.
$29. 30.
Well, he was really in the zone when he was winning those three on the spin and just looked calm. Obviously, as the match goes on and Ding comes back, it's about staying in that frame of mind. Or trying to.
He had plenty of options there. Reds to right corner, and of course the
36.
one on the left as well if it all went wrong. But both reds go past the black anyway to this pocket.
37.
Yes, and as we've seen, that red he's about to play does pass the black, crucially.
44. 45.
Well, he can easily play the little nudge on the two reds close together here and holding for the other one. Deciding that he just wanted to make sure of the reds. So, the two reds in open play with blacks
50.
clearly enough.
53. 60. 61.
So there'll be 2 men in it once this is potted. Take a left-hand red to middle and that will win in the frame all right.
68.
Well, it could take him to another century, but this is an important red just to get the frame going his way. Very good.
69.
Well, now, is he going to put another century on the board?
Well, he looks nicely back in the groove. Ding had that tricky red. He was just a bit encumbered the way he was playing it with the yellow.
75. 76. 83. 84.
That's a bit annoying. He's finished quite straight on this now. Obviously,
91.
we're only looking at the chance of making a century, but he's not been helped by finishing there. He's got a very slight angle only. He's got to play it with a little bit of pace.
92.
They're all going in, and the black, the yellow's not going to be a problem. So this basically is as good as for the century, with the yellow close to the pocket. What a shame.
Yeah, it comes to something, doesn't it, when you're disappointed with a 92, but that's the level he's been at. As you say, the yellow was waiting, so no fourth century, but it's a winning break after Ding won the first one back after the interval. Chris Wakelin back in the groove and needing one frame to take on Judd Trump in the quarterfinals here in Wuhan tomorrow. I had visions there of him maybe making a century in every frame he won. Ronnie O'Sullivan did that once in Belfast against Ali Carter back in 2007. Anyway, 92 will do. Meantime, the Hawk here, Barry Hawkins, has got his eye in this match. He was 3-0 down and struggling badly. Highest break 21 at that point. But as you can see, it's 3-2. He's in front in frame 6 late on with a chance to level up. So Hawkins, as I said earlier, he's got this great calm about him and a lot of experience, and he's just found a way back into the match.
Well, yeah, because it looked for all the world like he was going to perhaps lose this frame, and maybe 36 points down. Would have been a bit early to say that, but he was in Xiao Guodong. And it's still got to be won, though, isn't it? It's a tight frame from here where the balls are. It's not guaranteed he'll clear, but from 3-0 to 3-0 would be a big turnaround there.
Zhang Anders won the 5th frame, so he's 3-2 down to Mark Joyce. Si Junhui 3-2 over Dwayne Jones. Well, this feels like the key shot now, this last red for Hawkins. Very accomplished player with the rest. So here on the main table, Chris Wakelin. Okay, it wasn't a 4th century, but 92, a frame-winning break. He leads Ding Junhui 4-2 and needs one more to reach the quarterfinals of the WUHAN Open. Peggy Lee, the referee, just waiting for everyone to settle down. It's been thoroughly entertaining, a lot of high scoring, but Ding now really can't afford any mistakes. He's getting good support.
Frame 7, Ding Junhui to break.
Chris Wakelin has not won yet. If he does, he's not the sort of character who will get carried away too much. He'll be happy, obviously, but he will focus then on the match with Trump, which will be interesting because in 13 meetings he's never beaten him. But first of all, he's got to get to 5 before he can think about any of that.
I'm not sure the red looks like it will go past the black, yeah, comfortably. Wasn't a great shot from Wakelin because he kind of almost played a containing shot, but he didn't really leave the balls in a particularly safe place. Now, obviously, Ding, he's faced with the difficult black now. He does take the black. But it has opened the door to him a little bit if it goes in.
Ding Junhui,
Well, it was a big shot, but he might be fearing the worst on the basis of what he's seen this afternoon. He may not be coming back to the table, but he's not even potted a ball yet. But it's been that kind of a day for Wakelin. He scored heavily. Whether he can continue to do so is another matter, but he wouldn't necessarily want to be in Ding Junhui's position. Maybe winning the deciding frame or the concluding frame is a little bit different to all the others. He doesn't look like missing many, quite honestly.
8.
Yeah, you have to have a toe on the floor at all times. That toe has got to be on the carpet.
I was only saying a couple of days ago that I've never seen anyone actually foul before in those circumstances. So I doubt he'll. Obviously, Peggy is looking very suspiciously at him as if he's about to. No,
9.
never a real problem, I think, in the end. He's just got to do what he's been doing all afternoon, and as I say, it might be a little more difficult to do in this frame to get him over the line, but he's at the table and he's looking good.
Yeah, the rules of snooker are interesting. I think they weren't all set at the same time. They evolved over several years, but I guess at some
16.
point with that rule, someone must have climbed on the table and they thought, well, we can't have this. So that was written in.
17. Twenty-two. Twenty-three.
Well, this is his first chance to win the match. From what we've seen, you'd fancy him to do it, but it's easy to say that. I've just been very impressed with his general calm today. As I was saying when we started, you know, he's in a good place in general, off the table as well. I think it makes a big difference, particularly when you're travelling, that you want to be here, and his form has been good this season. He's had some good results. Is it all coming together here in Wuhan?
$29. $30.
Now, what does he do here? Because he's got the angle to screw into the cluster of reds in the middle of the table. Other than that, there's not really an easy red to play on, so he's going to have to almost roll the dice a little and nudge into the reds, or else this break might not take him all the way. That'll do.
$37. $38.
Got the feeling that the right hand red might go to the left corner He's now looking to see if that is the case, which means you wouldn't have to play cannon at this stage. Much happier playing him behind the ball. Yeah, he's not on it perfectly. It could be missed. Because it releases a couple of other reds as well if it does go in. As you can see, it passes the bunch.
.44.
Well, it's up to Chris to rate the performance overall, but this must be
46.
right up there. It's not just how well he's played, it's the context of coming here onto the main table, playing Ding in front of a big crowd at the night session. He's been brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, the
47.
context is everything, isn't it? The other thing I will say is you do occasionally see a screenshot of someone knocking in a barrage of huge breaks, but it's not very often on the show table. You know, it'll be in the main arena somewhere, but it's on the outside table. Huge breaks all the way through. This is really in the spotlight, he's doing it.
53 in front, 75 on.
54.
Looking for a couple more reds here to get the job done. Middle
55.
of the pocket, isn't it? That's the thing. They're not just going in, they're going in cleanly.
He looks a world beater today, doesn't he? As I think we all know that we have seen it before with him, where he can just get into a zone where he looks fantastic. He's got a lot of positional skills. You know, he's not someone you'd say, what a wonderful long potter. He is somebody that can get right in amongst them. And his concentration has been very good, so he's got to keep it going for a little longer. Goodness me, what a thing to miss. And the reason he missed that is because he just was trying to pot it in the bottom side of the pocket to get in position. He was a bit straighter on the black than he wanted to be. How about that for a miss?
Well, you heard the response of the crowd. It was excitement that Ding's got a chance, which didn't look like it was going to come.
One.
Well, it's not significant right now, but if Ding could win this frame, it might be hugely significant. But he hasn't played a great shot there. He's not very nicely on this pink at all, quite honestly. Over the top of a ball, hitting the red, finish cut. Nothing nice about this.
Junhui,
Well,
one.
the frame is still alive because there's not an easy red on. And Wakelin will be relieved to be back at the table so quickly. Nearly fell in.
Yeah, I mean, the middle pockets are not generous. You know, I think the corners maybe are, but those middles, you've got to be exact. So there you see it, 53 the lead, 59 on, a sudden injection of drama, just as it looked like he was coasting towards the winning line.
I think what he can do here, the red to the right, he could play that into a fairly acute middle pocket. But if it goes in, it's match over, isn't it? Because it'll be Snookers and the pinks on. Doesn't really want to disturb the slightly safer reds down the left channel either. Not very close to getting that, but it was a shot to nothing. Be a good frame to win this, I can tell you, and we could turn everything around. Wouldn't see Ding take all this time on a shot very often, but clearly it's a crucial shot, and B, I mean, it's hard to know where you can gain any real advantage here. I think he'd like to have pushed one of the more awkward reds away from a cushion, but I'm not sure he can. That's probably all he could do. Just keep Wakelin quiet for a shot, because he can't afford any more mistakes now, Ding Junhui.
Well, we watch this dramatic moment of play. It is 4-2 to Junhui against Dwayne Jones, and 3-2 Mark Joyce, possibly going 4-2 against Zhang Anda. Still 4-2 Zhao Guodong over Barry Hawkins. Mark Joyce, in fact, has had a century, so definitely 4-2 up on Zhang Anda.
He didn't really want to leave access to the red he's closest to Ding here, because I think he can pot this into the right corner. I just wonder if Ding could somehow pull this frame out of the fire. If he would go on and win the match, wouldn't surprise me, but he's not close to winning the frame yet. Good shot. So it's the first step of a long journey back into the match, I think. Playing the red confidently.
On Mark Joyce, he made a 139, so he's now equalled the high break. So we've had 4 now, so you know, many more, and it's kind of almost not worth making them with the £5,000 high break prize. Yeah, my mistake. So it's 5, not 4. Well, at the moment it's 1,000 each, which is fine, obviously, but not quite the riches you would expect for a high break.
This is very difficult. This is really difficult with the rest. I don't have him down as one of the better rest players in the world. I mean, he's not the worst by any means, but he's not a Kyron Wilson or a Sean Murphy.
Doesn't want this in, doesn't want that in. Well, now that makes a big difference. There's 52 in it now, with 51 on.
Well, that'll be a huge relief, because it's safe to say that as brilliantly as Chris Wakelin has played, that the black he missed was as easy as anything he's had to play in those big breaks. So originally, Peggy Lee said 4, and if it was, Ding could still win, but it's one snooker anyway. So they'd be very relieved that that dropped in, that pink ball. changed things considerably, obviously.
Yeah, so Ding leading a snooker. Otherwise, it's going to be Wakelin taking on Judd Trump tomorrow.
One.
I mean, we know that one snooker isn't game over, and especially if he could pot red and a black here, Ding Junhui would feel that there's still a squeak.
8. 9.
So is he going to be able to lay a snooker that is going to really test Chris Wakelin?
16.
He probably wouldn't get many better opportunities than this, although he was a bit far up the table to put distance between the two balls very easily. He needs a bit of cover here.
Junhui,
There's
16.
a big gap. And he's got a chance to knock this red in. And that will be end of a terrific match.
Well, as you can see the red. But of course, it's Ding who's looking for the snooker.
Yes, it was never going to trouble him, that snooker. But you feel there is a good snooker to be laid here. All the colours on their spots suggests that there is a hiding place for Ding Junhui behind one of the colours. If you can just get the shot right. Again, you think of someone like Mark Selby or John Higgins, you half fancy them to lay a difficult snooker at some point. Well, I mean, it would have been not too bad behind the black. I still think it would have been likely escaped on the left side, but ultimately he's not snookered at all. Doesn't have to leave the red on the table, of course. He could pop red high-value colour and try and get it on the colours. If that position came up, he might take it up. The opportunity to do so. This looks good. Little swerve off the cushion. Yeah, again, You'd like to think pretty simple snooker to hit. Around probably 2 cushions.
Sort of nonchalantly walking away there. It was very close to going in.
Well, he got a double kiss there. Certainly got a double kiss. Tell you what, that's not easy to hit. I'm sure that double kissed. I don't think that was just played up and down, in which case Ding was lucky. Big puff of the cheeks from Wakelin. He doesn't fancy this very much. And with the red close to the cushion, it's not a huge target. I don't know if he can play a big swerve. That might be the way, right-hand side, in between the pink and black, and then bring it back from left to right as we look. But it's not a nice shot to be left with. That's what he's playing. Might be the only way you can hit this. Oh, goodness me. Oh, goodness me, what a thing. Because he's got right-hand side on that. Wow. What a game this snooker is at times. That is unbelievable.
Well, his problems, of course, started when he missed that black off the spot on 55. He was just sort of a few balls away from winning it. Now, what a thing.
Yeah, Ding just checking to see which colour he can take. Well, he can go blue, pink or black. He doesn't want to take the brown here, because you can only tie then, so up for the blue it'll be.
One. Six.
Well, it's slightly different, but it is slight flashbacks to yesterday. Wilson and Zhao Gudong.
8.
Well, it really is. I mean, how on earth? I mean, if he did lose his frame, and it looks like he might, how on earth has he lost it? But we'll have to just watch the next few balls go in. Although he might not want to see them from his chair, Wakelin.
11.
Yeah, I mean, when he was on the break that he was on in this frame, we were talking about it being one of his best ever performances, best ever wins. He hasn't won yet, and it's going to be a big sort of mental challenge if it is to be going into another frame here to get over this.
15.
Just the way it happened.
Yes, he couldn't get really close to the pink there. So all in all, he's controlled it nicely to end up quite straight, which is what you want on that shot.
Well,
26.
just wait for the noise when he pops this black. The match looked over, but China's Ding Junhui can hear the murmuring already. Needs this. We're going into another frame. Incredible. And Chris Wakelin now faces a bit of a test here as his lead is cut to 4-3. Well, we're here again, aren't we? Another dramatic twist in a match, just when you think you know what's going to happen. Snooker has other ideas. Now, we're going to go to table 2. Barry Hawke and Zhao Gudong, with Zhao looking good to get it won. Here we are, he's 4-2 up, 14 in front, so needs green and brown. And he will put himself through to play Sean Murphy in the quarterfinals tomorrow.
He's having a really good week, isn't he? You know, Zhao Guidong. I mean, he's one of these players that you see on the tour and he's in the top 32, but you just might not be the first name you think of in an event, but he's having a good week. He won an extraordinary match yesterday. He was outscored by over 250 points against Kyron Wilson, but beat him 5-4. And now this, you know, the next day is a difficult follow-up match, isn't it, after a good win like that? So for Zhao Guidong, he'll be absolutely delighted. Absolutely delighted.
Yeah, it's turning into quite the week for him. Looks certain to be 3-0 down and probably out the match against Wilson, but here we are. He's into the quarters. And every reason to believe he can go further. Sean Murphy next. Because Barry Hawkins' Wuhan Open adventure comes to an end. Well, it's been a high-quality match, but also a match full of drama. We saw that in that last frame, the in-off from Wakelin set up the chance for the clearance from Ding. It must be said, though, the missed black on 55 before that was a key moment also. Wakelin was coasting towards the winning line, didn't cross it, and now has to do it all again here in frame 8. 4-3 it is to him. Just in terms of other matches, we've had a couple of finishes. Zhao Guidong has beaten Barry Hawkins 5-2, and Si Junhui has beaten Dwayne Jones 5-2, and Si Junhui in that match had 3 centuries himself, so he's played some terrific stuff. He's going to play the Mark Joyce or Zhang Anda next. That's just about to go 4-3 to Joyce, it would seem. It's 4-2, Zhang's on a break of 71. Meanwhile, Chris Wakelin will take anything right now, and it's not only that he's behind the yellow, it's reds have opened up, so just got to be careful here. He doesn't skim off these reds and leave one of them on. Just coming round to see if he has left this red to left corner. Wakelin's having a good look as well. It must be tight. Well, there you are. It's exactly what he didn't want to happen. He's trying to get the side of the pack. Well, this is clearly very tight. I mean, he's having a good look now from the pocket.
Well, he put a lot into the pot there and couldn't really think too much about getting the positional side of it. Of course, the news was it went, and I suppose once it goes, and you can think about something else. But he was unsure all the way through that process.
What a roller coaster of emotions this sport is. Chris Wakelin experiencing that right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be a whole different ball game, isn't it? We were talking
First
about
Wakelin, 1.
unanswered points and making a century every frame earlier. Now, just getting the win is going to be a scramble, I think. And I think he is one of those players, Wakelin. He's been absolutely sensational today, but I've seen the wheel fall off, you know, with him. And I mean, with most players it can, but you know, that match against Trump at the Crucible, it completely fell off. It's a few years ago now, but it happened.
Chagander has answered Mark Joyce's 139 with a 137, so it's 4-3 to Joyce there. Some terrific stuff being played here. Well, in frame 1, you might remember Wakelin went for a very tough brown. Didn't get it. Ding made a 69, effectively a winning break. In this one, he's taken the yellow on with the rest, hasn't got it, and Ding's in.
Yeah, he's on that
8.
red to the left of the black, so I think he knuckled down at the end of that last frame to win it. I still believe that he was a bit fortunate to get that snooker on that last frame. I'm sure he got a double kiss and the in off, all of these things. And now he's just got to go back to his thing that he does best. He's in with a chance to score, and it would be, for a neutral, a terrific end to this match if it went all the way to a decider. It's been a bit like yesterday's match, really, with Gudong and Karen Wilson. It's been a match with all sorts happening. Some break building and a couple of moments here. Goodness me.
Yeah, I mean, I said it was a roller coaster for Wakelin, but what about Ding in that last frame? He's inadvertently knocked the pink in to leave himself leading the snooker. You think then it's probably gone, but then the in off from Wakelin, suddenly the clearance presented itself, which he took out very coolly.
17.
Not sure whether anything is a plant to the left corner. The red's kind of shaping up across that side. I saw Ding looking into them. I don't think anything is a plant. The middle 3 reds, perhaps. The fact that he's gone into them says no. It's okay. That is okay. Albeit with awkward queuing, he's got a red to middle.
24.
Yeah, he was trying to push it through to get on the blue, and I guess it made the pot more difficult. He'd be annoyed because that was a wonderful chance, and he's handed the initiative straight back to Wakelin.
So he has to do it all again, but let's see how he's feeling. One thing I can tell you is in terms of the matches tomorrow, Sean Murphy against Xiao Guodong and Jack Lazowski against Long Zhihang will be in the first session, so European time breakfast, 7 o'clock UK time, and then the other 2 matches, including Trump, of course, against the winner of this, will be 12:30 UK time.
Nine.
So how far can he take this break? We know he's playing well. He knows how well he's been scoring. But
40.
just got to shrug aside what happened in the previous frame. But whether it will just come back again, if there's another moment to be had in this frame, get a little bit jittery out there. But he has got a great chance here. Great opportunity. There's a red right in the middle of that bunch which goes. He's got to play a little nudge off of one of the bottom reds onto the black. Very nicely negotiated.
21. Twenty-eight. Twenty-nine.
A little bit of a stretch, this next shot. You wonder if he'll just
34.
smoothly cross the winning line without a scare, or there'll be more twists. It wouldn't surprise me if it was the latter. Yes, he's a little awkward. He's right across the table, the extension on the cue. Dead straight, this.
35.
Problem solved.
Well, you do wonder if our old friends, the snooker gods, had their say in the last frame after he missed that routine black. They said, right, things are going to mess with you a little bit. He's hoping that's in the past now, though, because this is looking like a really good chance once again to put himself into the quarterfinals.
Yeah, I mean, the yellow being fairly safe does help him because he's not going to be needing it. But, of course, should he break down any time in the next few shots, then Ding clearly will need the yellow in attempting to clear. So that kind of works in Wakelin's favour, the fact that it's just where it is. Quite interesting when the two reds are placed below the pink and directly above the black. They're not that easy to get on. They're not
48.
completely safe either, and he's now seeing whether the left one would pop to the left middle or the right one to the right middle, which, because after this red is taken, might well be the case. I think they'll both pot. But you'd have to get on them perfectly.
49.
The lead is growing, though. Already 26 points. That'd be 32. We'll need two more reds. It's It's just a question of what he does about getting on the 2 reds. From his next colour, he needs to get low on the 2 reds.
$56.
There you are, playing on the reds in the middle after this. So this is the moment, it seems. We thought we'd already had the moment, but in the previous frame. Here it is now.
62.
Well, he'll be so relieved if this goes in. And there it is. And regardless of the little slip up in the last frame, he has played brilliantly today. He made 3 successive total clearances to win frames 2 to 4.
No, he really has played well, yeah. And Ding hasn't played poorly himself. He didn't quite seize the moment in this frame when he had the one chance. Seeing that red to middle, queuing awkwardly, but the scoring power of Wakelin, it cannot be denied in this match.
Well, the irony, of course, now, Neil, he could actually make a century here to finish, having not made one in that last frame.
21.
Doesn't care right now. He's just happy that he's over the line. It's been a brilliant display overall from Chris Wakelin. You can see a little puff of the cheeks after the trauma of the last frame.
78.
Doesn't get any easier. Judd Trump next. He's never beaten him in 13 meetings.
Chris Wakelin, 78.
So a 78 to finish. It's been a very entertaining match, a high-quality one, a terrific display from Chris Wakelin. He made successive total clearances of 128, 139, 132, and 92 later as well. And he's finally got the job done. 5-3. Yeah, that incredible spell of scoring seems a long time ago now, doesn't it? 390.